Next Gen Awards West Australian Showcase. It is such a pleasure. Oh, thank you. It is such a pleasure to join you all here today at Bloom Curtin University with so many young professionals, innovative educators, industry leaders, and community change makers. The room is abuzz with attendees joining us here in person and online from staff rooms, lounge rooms, and living rooms all across the state. We've got an action-packed evening planned for you all, so let's begin. Now, I'd like to start the ceremony by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the lands on which we gather, the Whadjuk Noongar people. This has always been a place of learning and sharing and innovating, and I'd like to extend my respects to elders past, present, and emerging. My name is Scott Miller, and it's my honour to be your MC for the next gen. It's your honour, no, it's a lie, I promise. It's my honour to be your MC for the Next Gen West Australian Showcase event this evening. For those of you that don't know me, I'm the 23-year-old CEO and founder of Australian education company Pop Industries, the organisation delivering the Next Gen Awards. Pop's the company that I started back when I was 14 years old as part of a school business project in Year 9, selling hearings at local markets. And it's a company that now sees me travelling across the country and around the world, working with about 20,000 students every single year, looking at how we can best prepare for our ever-changing future of work. I'm incredibly passionate about how we can inspire, empower, and showcase young entrepreneurs, young innovators, and young leaders in our communities and around the world, showing students that your age, your postcode, and your skill set is no longer a barrier to bringing ideas to life, making change in your community, and getting a head start on your chosen pathway. These days, with the devices and an internet connection, we can be accessing information, building businesses, and sharing ideas from anywhere in the world. I've had the pleasure of working alongside the rest of the Pop Industries team over the course of the year to review entries coming in from across the country and across the state, and I've been truly blown away by the quality of top young talent we have in our communities. I, for one, cannot wait to celebrate all of our finalists this evening, announce our winners, and hear from our judges. So, let's get started. It's term 4, it's week 4. How are we all feeling? Can I get a show of hands? Is anyone here just like they're already on a beach? It's the summer holidays. They're planning their holidays. Yeah. Oh no one. Hands up. Who's like it's Scott? It's the middle of assessment period. I am stressed. I'm going to go home and study till midnight tonight. Yeah. Any teachers like Scott? It's the middle of assessment period. I am stressed. I'm going to be working till midnight tonight. Amazing. Well, no, I very much understand that term 4 is a very hectic term for everyone here. So I really appreciate you all taking the time to join us this evening. We have an absolutely action-packed evening planned, and I, for one, cannot wait to get started. Now, the Next Gen Awards. The Next Gen Awards launched early this year as an opportunity to recognise and reward the next generation of top young talent across the country. With so many young people working to bring their ideas to life, develop their skills, and make an impact, we wanted to create an opportunity to showcase their work whilst also connecting them with the organisations big and small looking to access top young talent in their teams. It's no secret that young people around the world are approaching the workforce in a very different way to any other generation that's come before, with a focus on impact and entrepreneurship, a desire for ownership and mentoring opportunities, and a need for digital connection and flexible working styles. Generation Z are taking a different approach to their career pathways, and it's forcing organisations big and small to rethink how they can attract, retain, and grow top young talent on their teams. To help create opportunities to connect young people that are working to get a head start on their chosen pathway with the organisations looking to engage with high-performing young people, the Next Gen Awards were born. With entries open to primary and high school students across the country in grades 4 to 12, along with their educators, we've been delighted to partner with 8 organisations to bring the awards to life this year in 2023. As nominations started streaming in from across the country for our awards, we were blown away by the quality of the entries coming from Western Australia in particular, and we wanted to create an opportunity for the next generation of top young talent here in Western Australia. To do this, we had the pleasure of teaming up with a fabulous crew at the Bloom Centre for Youth Innovation to bring the Next Gen Awards Western Australia Showcase event to life. Thanks to support from the Space Cubed Innovative Society Initiative, Lottery West and the Fogarty Foundation, we've been able to offer 4 award categories to acknowledge West Australian young leaders, young innovators, young entrepreneurs and innovative educators. With many opportunities for young people across the state to develop their skills, bring their ideas to life and access opportunities, we're so excited to create this opportunity to profile young West Australians making a head start on their chosen pathway today. Could you please join with me in thanking every nominee, every judge, every guest presenter and masterclass attendee that has joined in the West Australian Next Gen Awards this year. Now, as promised, we have an absolutely action-packed evening for you this evening. We kicked off a little more than an hour ago with some food, some music, and of course, plenty of networking. And it was brilliant to see so many of you connecting, collaborating, and sharing over the course of that networking hour. I hope you all have made some new connections tonight. From here, we're going to be diving into the official proceedings of the evening. Now, if at any point throughout the night you'd like to see what's coming up next, make sure to scan the QR code on the screen now, or on the program that you were given upon arrival that should have been sitting in your seats. This will direct you to the attendee page that has an overview of the program for the evening, along with all the housekeeping information you might need. Now, speaking of housekeeping this evening, should you require the bathroom at any point, the bathrooms are just out those doors we came in from. There will be a couple of opportunities for you to have a bit of a stretch throughout the evening, head to the bathroom, but if you are busting, there'll be plenty of claps, plenty of music playing. So I'd always recommend until we announce an award winner that you can sort of subtly sneak out and head to the bathroom. Now, yes, that would definitely be my recommendation. We also encourage you to use your devices throughout the evening, take plenty of photos, take plenty of videos, and share them on your social media platform of choice. And make sure to tag the Next Gen Awards throughout the evening on your socials. We'll be resharing posts throughout the night. Now, if you do need anything at all throughout the evening, please don't hesitate to find any of the Bob or Bloom teams. They're going to be more than happy to help however they can. Now, the final piece of housekeeping for this evening, and arguably I would say the most important. So if you're going to listen to anything at all that is said throughout the night tonight, this is the one piece I recommend you listen to. And that is, of course, the audience selfie. Now, for anyone that's been to a Bob event or a Bob program, you guys will know that we love a bit of a selfie, and we also love a bit of a cheeky Insta post and an Insta story. So before we get started this evening, I wanted to get a quick selfie with the room. Now, the room is broken into 2 parts, so it's going to be 2 selfies. And the way this is going to work, I'm going to grab my phone, I'm going to take a little selfie from up here on the stage, and I want all of you to pop your hands in the air and yell out Next Gen on 3. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, Next Gen. Sound good? Yeah, amazing. I'm going to change it to the handheld microphone. Whoop. We lost it. Let's see if it comes back. Can you guys hear me now? Amazing. Alrighty, so this side of the room, you guys are up first. And I don't want to say that I will be picking which side does the better selfie, but I mean, it is an awards program. We need to give you some awards, right? This one's gone again. That's all good. I'll use a big voice. We're going to go Next Gen on 3. Sound good? Alrighty. 1, 2, 3, Next Gen! Love it. Amazing work. Round of applause for this side of the room. Alrighty. You guys reckon you can top that? Yeah? Alrighty. Let's do it again. 1, 2, 3. Next Gen! Love it. Amazing. Round of applause for this side of the room. Amazing, thank you guys so much. Those photos we posted on the Next Gen socials throughout the evening. Make sure to check us out, particularly on Insta and LinkedIn, I would say, the 2 that you'll find that photo on first. Now, what's going to be happening tonight and how tonight is going to run? We have got a pretty action-packed 2 hours for you, and I'm very set on getting you all out of here by 8 p.m. because I know I, for one, have a very strict bedtime of 9 p.m. If I'm not in bed by 9, I'm going to be cranky tomorrow, and I know Sophie does not want that. So we have 4 award categories to give out tonight to showcase the young people making change in their communities and the innovative educators supporting them. Before we dive into the West Australian Awards, we wanted to take a second to acknowledge 2 fantastic West Australians that actually won 2 of our 6 national awards at the Next Gen National Awards ceremony last week. So we're going to kick off there. From there, we're going to be hearing from the fabulous Jeremy Chetty, the co-founder of Student Edge. And in his presentation, he's going to be sharing his story of how he went from being a student to an entrepreneur, starting and building a business over the last 20 years and sharing his story of becoming an overnight success. From there, we're going to be diving into our West Australian Awards by presenting our West Australian Young Leader of the Year and West Australian Young Innovator of the Year award. From there, we're going to be having the fabulous Jo Hawkins from UWA presenting her keynote, Unlearning. What got you here won't get you there. And in this presentation, Joe's going to argue that for today's young people, the ability to unlearn is just as important as the ability to learn. After hearing from Joe, we're then going to be presenting our West Australian Innovative Educator of the Year and finishing the evening with our West Australian Young Entrepreneur of the Year. Now, as a reminder, if at any point you do want to check where we're at on the program, we'll see what we've got coming up. Make sure to scan these QR codes, all those programs on your seats. On the back page, there's another QR code as well you can head to check out the attendee page. And before we start, I also wanted to take a second to thank the impactful organisations that have helped make the Next Gen Awards possible this year. A massive thank you to the Bloom Centre for Innovation for partnering with us to deliver this event. The event also would not be possible without the support of the Space Cubed Innovative Society Initiative supported by Lottery West. Also too, I'd like to thank the Fogarty Foundation for helping champion the awards in Western Australia. Also to Federation University for powering our Young Innovator of the Year award category, and to Bond University Transformer for powering our Young Entrepreneur of the Year award category. Award programs like this would not be possible without the support of organisations such as these. And what I love to see is that every single one of these organisations have gotten involved because they have a vested interest in the success of young people in the workplace. So I highly encourage each and every one of you to reach out to those organisations and see what they're doing to support young people in their teams. Could you please join me in thanking our Next Gen West Australian sponsors for 2023. Now, let's be real. It wouldn't be an awards program without some pretty serious prizes, right? I mean, like gloating rights are fun, but let's see what some of our prizes are for this evening. Now, our winners have had prize packs designed to help them develop their skills, their experience, and the projects that they're working on. Prize packs have been tailored to each category winner to support them along their journey. And they include a laptop backpack and power bank from STM Goods to help them innovate on the go. Complimentary tickets to the upcoming West Tech Fest from Fogarty Foundation. JB Hi-Fi gift cards from the Fogarty Foundation, Impact scholarships with access to events and mentoring from Space Cubed, a selection of masterclasses and virtual learning experiences with organisations such as Federation University and Student Edge, and plenty of one-on-one mentoring opportunities for people to help our winners develop their skills, projects and experiences. Prize packs are going to be shipped to each of our winners after the awards event this evening. And for each of our winners at the evening this evening, we have a fabulous certificate for you, a trophy, and a prize from our West Australian state sponsor, the Fogarty Foundation. Could we please put our hands together for all of the organisations that have so generously helped assist us in creating these prizes for our winners? And one final thank you that I would absolutely love to give before we get started is to our industry judges. This year we've had 9 phenomenal judges joining us to judge our West Australian entries, and we've had 3 West Australian judges joining our national judging panel. Each of these judges has taken the time out of their busy schedule to review the shortlisted nominees for each award category, join judging calls, and do the impossible task of narrowing down all of the fantastic nominees we had this year to just 3 finalists and 1 overall winner for each category. We're incredibly excited to have a special message from some of the judges that will be playing as we announce each award category this evening. Now, I should also note that all of our West Australian award categories were judged by a separate judging panel to our national award categories as well, meaning that regardless of the national award finalists and winners, results may differ this evening for our West Australian finalists and winners. We're going to have to see how our West Australian judges have deliberated to select the finalists and winners for each award category. For anyone looking for mentoring advice or support along their journey, I would highly recommend connecting with these fantastic judges on the screen. Could you please join me in thanking all of our judges for joining us this year? Now, to get us warmed up and thinking big about our ever-changing future and the exciting opportunities available for young people, I wanted to start by sharing some insights into the power of young professionals and what the future of work is set to look like for Generation Z and Generation Alpha. Now, the Next Gen Awards, they've been designed for our Gen Zs and Gen Alphas, but I know many of you might be sitting there saying, well, who exactly is that? Well, Generation Z and Generation Alpha are what comprise young people in school today. Our Gen Zs are those born between the years 1995 and 2010, and our Gen Alphas born between the years 2010 and 2025. Can I get a show of hands? Do we have any Gen Zs in the room tonight? Hand up. Awesome, hands down. And do we have any Gen Alphas in the room? Oh, a couple of Gen Alphas, thank you for joining us this evening. Do we have anyone in the room with Gen Alphas in their households? Any kids, siblings? Yeah, amazing, hands down. Now, Generation Z, they've been nicknamed the digital natives because they're the first generation to grow up truly surrounded by technology. We're talking Wi-Fi, touchscreen devices, and social media. And there's currently 4.6 million Gen Zs across the country, making up about 20% of the Australian population, and making Gen Z the largest generation in Australia right now in terms of the numbers. Now, if we go to our younger generation, our Gen Alphas, you guys have been nicknamed Generation Glass, referring specifically to the touchscreen devices that you've grown up with. Now, Generation Glass, the really interesting thing about this is a lot of the researchers say the first language that Generation Glass learn is not any spoken language. The first generation that Generation Glass learned to communicate confidently with is technology. This is the generation that can reach down, put their thumbprint in their parents' phone, unlock it and start swiping around to play with their favorite apps before they can form full sentences. And when you think about that, these young people that are growing up in such a digital world, you start to wonder what they're going to be like by the time they're entering the workforce. Now, there are currently 3 million Gen Alphas in Australia at the moment, but as they're still being born right now, that number is expected to grow. And what's really cool about Gen Z and Gen Alpha is we've announced at the start of this year that there's actually more people around the world under the age of 35 than over the age of 35. So collectively, globally, there are 2 billion Gen Zs, and there's expected to be 2.2 billion Gen Alphas. So making up a massive part of our population as future employees. Now, Generation Z and Gen Alpha, they're approaching the workforce in some very different ways. The oldest Gen Zs now are about 28 years old, and we've got a bit of research that's been happening around how this generation are approaching the workforce. And this is really underlying why the Next Gen Awards have been created. Now, it's expected that Gen Z, we're accessing opportunities. Young people today are expected to change careers every 7 years. That means for a lot of our young people today, the conversation is no longer what do you want to do for the rest of your life, but what do you want to do for the next couple of years. They're motivated by impact, with the average young professional in Australia under the age of 30 willing to take up to a 30% pay cut to work for a company or a cause they truly believe in. And they're looking for autonomy and ownership, with 8 out of 10 young people wanting to be their own boss, and 4 out of 10 expected to start their own business at some point in their career. And finally, they're really rethinking what a career looks like, with 70% of young professionals under the age of 35 in Australia willing to work freelance as opposed to traditional 9-to-5 career. So for a lot of Gen Zs and a lot of Gen Alphas, they're saying, well, why am I going into an office from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday to Friday? How can I, instead of working for one company, work for 6? And instead of working in the same city every day of the year, I might spend 3 months in Perth, 3 months in Bali, 3 months in London, traveling around the world while I work. So they're approaching the workforce in very different ways. And if we look at the workforce of 2030, they're going to comprise a massive part of our workforce. The fabulous team at McCrindle have done a bit of research to say, well, what does the workforce of 2030 look like? And 2030 is only 6 years away, which is sort of terrifying when we say it out loud. And as you can see, our Gen Zs are actually the largest generation in the workforce by 2030, and our Gen Alphas are starting to increase into the workforce as well. So this is really forcing employers, big and small, across the country and around the world to think about how they can attract, retain, and grow top young talent on their teams. But how can we start now? What does the 21st century young professional look like? Well, there are a couple of things. I think we're going to see Generation Z and Generation Alpha remain uniquely human. Whilst we use technology and whilst we speak digital, we love to connect face-to-face, and we're always using technology to connect, to collaborate, and to share. We're digitally connected though. Technology is part of our day-to-day, and we're really willing to try new technologies, see what works and see what doesn't. We're community focused. We really want to make a difference in our communities and make the world a better place. And we're also thinking innovatively. We're not afraid to push the boundaries, think big, think different, and think outside the box. So I think the world is very bright for our young professionals, and I know it's fabulous to see so many of you sitting in front of me this evening. And I can't wait to follow your journeys as you head from school out into the workforce and continue making change in our communities. So I wanted to start with that, just to sort of preface the evening and say, well, why are we doing this? Why is Gen Z and Gen Alpha so important, and why are they so different? But to start with, I've got 2 awards that I wanted to share this evening. And as mentioned, we're going to be starting with our national awards. So on the 23rd of October, last Monday, we had our National Next Gen Awards ceremony with over 300 people joining us with a mix of in-person and online attendees, which was phenomenal to see. This was hosted in Brisbane, and with 6 award categories up for grabs, 2 of them were taken out by West Australians winning the national awards. Those were our Gen Z of the year and our Gen Alpha, our Innovative Educator of the year. And we have both of those people here this evening. And before we dive into our West Australian awards, we wanted to acknowledge these 2 outstanding West Australians that won their national award categories. Now, our first national award winner won the Gen Z of the Year award. The Gen Z of the Year award goes to a student enrolled in high school in Australia, born between the years 1995 and 2010, who's developed and showcased an outstanding level of 21st century skills across a range of projects in their local community. The Gen Z of the Year is a true multi-potential app that works to build and apply their skills in a diverse range of areas. Our Gen Z of the Year is also focused on getting a head start on their chosen pathway. They're actively seeking out opportunities to develop their skills, their network, and share their thoughts. They're connecting with industry and community leaders, and they're working hard to set themselves apart from the rest. Let's hear from our national Gen Z of the Year on why they won and what projects they're working on. Let's have a watch.
We currently stand at the dawn of a new age, where societal change is driven by our collective determination to mend the world's fractures, and where humanity pushes the bounds of science to the impossible. And we Gen Z are at the forefront of this new age. My name is Shithij Chandrasekhar, a teenager of Generation Z from Perth, Western Australia. Over the past few years, I've distinguished myself academically, as well as delving deep into the wide world of STEM, competing and triumphing in various national competitions, as well as taking up leadership positions within various STEM clubs to help nurture the next generation. My efforts extend beyond just STEM. Over the past few years, I've dedicated more than 80 hours to community service, to various charities, and I also greatly enjoy playing music, particularly classical guitar. I have to say that these past few years of my life have been dedicated to one single pursuit: how I can best prepare myself for my role in helping shape the future. Thank you.
In congratulating Shithij Chandrasekhar. Now, Shithij has been actively engaged in a myriad of extracurricular pursuits, each reflective of his deep-rooted passion to solve real-world issues. His commitment to making a positive impact is exemplified by his recognition as the national winner of the UN Voice Public Speaking Competition and his impressive runner-up placement in the TEDx King Park 30-second idea competition. In addition to his ventures in addressing societal issues, Shithij has also ventured into the realms of STEM. His accomplishments in the field include securing the runner-up position at the Australian Space Design Competition National Finals, achieving a top 20 result in the LEGO League National Finals, attaining 6th place in the RoboCup Soccer State Finals, earning the title of State Champions of the Da Vinci Decathlon, and recently placing first in the National Da Vinci Decathlon Finals in Sydney. Could we please give Shithij a massive round of applause? Now, our second National Award category winner was the Innovative Educator of the Year Award. The National Innovative Educator of the Year Award went to an educator who has gone above and beyond in their pursuit to educate and empower the next generation of young innovators, entrepreneurs, and leaders. An innovative educator who is someone who is passionate about teaching and learning and is committed to finding new and creative ways to engage their students and improve their learning outcomes. They're constantly looking for ways to improve their teaching practice and willing to take risks and try new opportunities. Let's hear from our National Innovative Educator of the Year on what projects they're working on in their classroom.
Good evening. I'm Michelle Fitzpatrick from St Mary's Anglican Girls' School in Perth, Western Australia, and I'm honoured to be considered for the BOP Innovative Educator of the Year Award. Now in its 6th year, iCubed is a compulsory entrepreneurial STEM-based program where our Year 10 students work in teams to help solve any of the 17 UN Sustainable Development Goals by creating a unique digital solution. Each team is supported by 2 mentors and allocated 3 hours per cycle plus termly project days as they work towards the end of year live pitch showcase where they pitch to a panel of industry judges. iCubed enables our students to become confident female leaders and change makers of tomorrow. The program remains sustainable with informal industry volunteers through to formal contractual partnerships. A simple coding program has turned into what is likely WA's, if not Australia's, largest industry school entrepreneurial and innovation partnership. Thank you for listening and have a lovely evening.
Again, another round of applause. Could you all please join me in congratulating the Australian Innovative Educator of the Year, Michelle Fitzpatrick. Michelle's trailblazing leadership shines through her remarkable, innovative initiative known as I3, which stands for Interdisciplinary Intelligence and Innovation. This in-house entrepreneurial STEM-based program is a resounding success for Year 10 students. Now in its 6th year of operation, an impressive 1,100 students have participated, guided by the wisdom, expertise, and knowledge of nearly 500 industry mentors, guest speakers, and judges who have generously volunteered their time. At the core of I3's triumph is the bedrock of partnerships and relationships that Michelle has meticulously cultivated with over 50 different industry partners. These connections are the driving force behind the program's excellence. Could you all please join me in congratulating Michelle Fitzpatrick? Now, we've just started, and I'm sure many of you are already getting sick of the sound of my voice, so I wanted to welcome our first guest speaker to the stage. Now, we're going to be hearing from Jeremy Chait about the journey to success. Jeremy is the co-founder of Student Edge, Australia's largest student membership with over 1.3 million members. He went from student to entrepreneur, starting and building a business over the last 20 years, and is sharing his story of an overnight success. A passionate champion for young people and the startup ecosystem, Jeremy is a sought-after speaker, coach, and entrepreneur in residence at Murdoch University, Space Cubed, and the Stephen Michael Foundation. Could you please join me in welcoming Jeremy to the stage? I'll give you that one.
It'll work, yeah.
We'll give it a go.
Well, firstly, before I start, I just want to say congratulations to all our finalists. I was just sitting here again, I was actually a judge as well, and just listening to the stories again and just seeing everybody and what you've done. It's just incredible. So well done to the finalists and the winners tonight. I also want to give a shout out to obviously the teachers and the parents in this room, because having, as Scott was saying, doing this for about 20 years, you never forget the people that support you and believe in you from the start. So shout out to the parents and grandparents and teachers sitting in this room that are out here supporting you on your journey. So yeah, anyway, so to get started, I have to be honest with you. So when Scott first invited me to share my story, I was really excited. I was like, okay, great, this is really cool. Scott runs an awesome organization and I'll share my story. Driving here tonight, I was like, hang on a second, I'm the old timer in this room. Scott's setting me up properly, yeah? But no, yeah, I was just like, okay, well, yeah, I am the old timer in this room, but hopefully I can share over the next 15 minutes what my journey has been on. Scott says journey to success. I'd like to just say it's a journey of making a difference, to be honest. I never thought of, especially when I was a student, never thought about being successful, let's be honest. Never ever came into my mind to be successful. Because you don't really know what it is anyway, right? And everyone's got different definitions of success, correct? So for me, it was just about, how can I make a difference? How can I make an impact? And how can I be my own boss? So I've got one message tonight, and I'm going to share my story through this message. And why is it only one thing I'm going to share tonight? Because I've come to realize, going to events and listening to people, you only really remember one thing. So I'm going to share one message tonight. It's more of a statement. I kind of freaked out when Scott brought up a slide that said the power of young professionals. I was like, oh, because my message is going to be the power of an idea. Why the power of an idea? Well, everything starts with an idea. That chair you're sitting on, someone came up with that idea. Those glasses, someone came up with that idea. The watch, the shoes. So you see my point? At some point in time, someone came up with that idea. And we are now beneficiaries of that idea. So you're sitting on this comfortable chair, it's comfortable, isn't it? Yeah. Those glasses, you can see through it, right? Yeah. The power of an idea. Everything starts with an idea, everything we touch, smell, see, starts with an idea. And for me, for the last 20 years, I've been a beneficiary of starting an idea called Student Edge. And it's taken me to so many places, and I've met some incredible people, and it's allowed me to live the dream of being an entrepreneur. the idea. It was 2003, last year university at Murdoch here in Perth. And the reason why we came up with this idea, and this is where if you're thinking about coming up with an idea or being your own boss, or whatever it may be, it has to start with a problem. Ideas are second. You've got to work out first what problem you want to solve. So for us, 2003, last year university students, selfishly, we wanted to help ourselves as students. No one was helping us. So why don't we create a platform that helps students, us at the time? So we come up with this idea called Student Edge, which is about giving you the edge while you're a student. Came up with this idea that if we come up with a membership to support students, to get them and help them through student life. That was the light bulb moment for us. There wasn't a membership, especially a free one, that would support you through student life. We were students at the time, and guess what? Student life is pretty hard. It's stressful. Why not have someone or a membership that helps you along the way? That's the pitch of Student Edge. That's what we started. That's the idea. Solving the problem of student life, making it easier, just that little bit easier for you, putting the fun back into student life. That's how Student Edge was born. We focus on three key things called Save, Earn, Learn. So we save students money. We've got 165 brands, from movies to tutoring services to fashion to technology. We go and negotiate deals on your behalf, and mum and dad and parents, because they're not spending your money that they're spending. We go and negotiate those deals. Earn, again, a problem we wanted to solve back in 2003. How do you find that first job? How do you even find an internship? How do you even find a volunteering opportunity? Even that's a struggle. So through our platform, we help young people with that. We've taken it a step further because what we've also realised when we were growing up, that no one's actually helping you even interview well. The techniques, the skills, how to prep for an interview, getting job ready, how to get a tax file online, how to get a bank account. So we help young people do that as well. And then learn, the last bit of the membership, again, all free. We wanted to learn about the things that we wish we learned in school. How to manage our mental health, how to move out of home, how to get a tax file number, how to get a bank account. Simple things. So we have a whole heap of content on our website and through our membership that we help students with those problems. The power of an idea. We wanted to simply solve, this is what entrepreneurs really do. All we do is solve problems. Some small ones, some big ones, and we get paid for them. But you got the problem, you got the idea, but there's one bit that we don't talk enough about, which has helped me over the 20 years, so I can stand here today and proudly say that you also need to be passionate about the problem you're solving. You need to be passionate about the idea you've come up with. So I'm going to give you an example, and apologies for those in the room who've heard this, share this story before, of how important passion is when you're building an idea or a solution to solve a problem. So you go back to 2003. So we're all gung-ho, full broke students, want to take on the world, want to create this membership. To get all these discounts, we called 250 businesses. We got to tell, okay, hang on. Raise of hands, who knows about the yellow pages? Yes. Guess my peoples. Gen X. Yeah. So anyway, for those who don't know, there was this thing called the yellow pages. It was a book about that thick, and your parents probably used it as a doorstop or whatever it may be. Anyway, it was in the house somewhere. We called 250 businesses to get a deal. Some sort of offer for members that didn't exist, by the way. We have no members. It was more saying, hey, we've got some members, we'd love to get a discount. Anyway, we got 10 to sign up. So that's a lot of no's. And to handle those no's, you need passion. This is why it's so important. Because there's going to be days where you want to give up. you definitely want to quit. Definitely. That will come through your mind. You definitely want to quit this idea. But if you're passionate about it, you pick up the phone, you make another phone call. Anyway, we've got 10 businesses, but we wanted McDonald's. If you get McDonald's, and your brand becomes cool, the membership, students will sign up. So there was a local McDonald's where we grew up. This is where we canvassed the businesses in Woollerton. And this is why you also appreciate people that support you and believe you in the start. We had to get McDonald's. So we had our mates working in the store, flipping burgers and stuff. And we were saying, come on, get us a meeting with your boss. Get us a meeting with your owner. Like, no, I won't do that. Some idea, blah, blah, blah. We said, no, please, just get us a meeting anyway. One of our mates got a meeting with Greg Battle, and he gets a chapter in the student edge book with February one. Greg Battle owned Woollerton McDonald's, Riverton, and Cannibal. He gave us half an hour. I'll never forget this. This is why I'm so passionate about sharing this story and why passion is so important when you're building a business. He sat us down in the restaurant. It's at 8 o'clock at night because he comes in at night to collect all the money. Sat us down. He gave us half an hour. He goes, okay, tell us about this idea. And gee, we were so excited. We pitched it. We pitched our heart. We had no members. We had no pitch deck. We had no business cards. We had no website. We just sat in front of Greg Battle and we pitched him this idea of student edge. We're going to help students with this. We know student life is tough. We're going to provide this. We're going to provide that. We even said it one day, I said this, I was like, we're going to get to 100,000 members. And my co-founder looked at me and was like, yep, okay, yep, it's 100,000 members. Because we thought that would get him excited. But that's what we wanted to do. We're so excited. Anyway, he goes, half an hour, he goes, okay, so what do you want? We said, okay, we want $500. We made up that number because $500 was the laminating machine we needed to print cards. So I said $500 and we need a deal. He said, okay, cool, $500 and I'll give you a free drink with every purchase, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, okay, cool. You know, heads, I'm looking at my co-founder. He's looking at me. I'm like, yep, we just got McDonald's. And we're so excited. Anyway, we're walking out the store and then Greg just puts his hand on the shoulder of my co-founder, David. And he says, hey, look, I tell you what, if you guys are going to get to the 100,000 members, whatever, just come back and see me because I just happen to be the president of all the McDonald's franchises across Australia. And I'll open up the door to about 750 stores. So there's Cloud9. What's after that? Because we were hopping and skipping out of that school. We just looked at each other and wow, did that just happen? Did that just happen? We were happy with one store. But now he's telling us he's going to open up the rest of the network. So we took him up on that invitation. It was about 3 years later. And he opened up 800 stores. And I can proud to say that McDonald's still to today is one of our biggest partners. But I share that story because when you have the power of an idea and you have passion behind it and the problem you really want to solve, you have those 3 ingredients, that's all you need. And all you need is one believer. So outside of my mum, my mum, but she's still my number one, and she's still, 20 years later, is still telling people about student edge. And I actually tell her, I said, Mum, you don't have to do that anymore. We've got a team of 40 people across the country that do that. And I pay them to do that. And she's like, no. Students need help. Anyway, passion. So when I now give guidance and counsel to young entrepreneurs coming through, especially our ones in the room, maybe, who knows, the next student edge is in this room somewhere, I don't know. But this is my counsel to you. You don't need the fancy pitch deck. You don't need the business cards. You don't even need to have an app done or website. You will go far just with your passion for that idea because people will start believing you. So don't underestimate the power of what you've got, even if you have nothing, because you're looking at someone that was back in 2003, broke student, broke. student with just an idea. So I'm standing here today as a result of that. That's why I'm so pumped about it. I'm more pumped about Student Edge now than I was back then. Because I've just realized that as we scale globally, we're 1.3 million members here, just about half the student population in Australia. We've now come to realize that there's so many other students that need help across the globe. So our mission still continues. So I've got a different role now, so I've got this fancy title, Chief Evangelist, yeah. What does that mean? All I do is I spread good news about why it's so important to help our young people. Because I know the struggle. I've been there, but now I've made it my business and our business to provide a free membership. So you're not alone. You have support. And we'll always make it free. Someone asked me that the other day, are you going to start charging him? It's $1 a month? Never. Not unless the founders are in charge of the business, because I mandate to always have a free membership. So every single student is set up for success. That's the mission of Student Edge. Now, conscious of time. The power of an idea. Now, I'm not sure if everyone noticed this, but you know, while this whole COVID thing is going on, we're busy with lockdown and wearing masks and all sorts of things. In November last year, the world clocked over 8 billion people. Did anyone know that? Cool, great. The world clocked over 8 billion people. So this is my charge to not just the young people in this room, but everybody in this room. The power of an idea. How are we going to feed 8 billion people? How are we going to transport 8 billion people? How are we going to look after the health of 8 billion people? And the list goes on. That's my charge to the young people, our future innovators in this room, future entrepreneurs in this room, future young leaders in this room, and everyone in the room. We all have a responsibility with this problem. So when I look at it now, as an entrepreneur, I look at how big our problems are ahead of us, but I'm equally excited at all the ideas that are going to come from this. This is what I'm excited about. You're going to come up with something. You're going to come up with something. I know it. You're going to lead an organization that might be solving a problem in healthcare, medicine. I know it. You will be. Do you know why? Because I believe in all of you. I'm talking to someone in this room tonight. But we all have a responsibility. So I'll close off with that never underestimate the power of an idea. I've given you the big problems in the world with 8 billion people, but how about you start in your local community? How about you start solving a problem in your local community before you take on the world problems? That's my charge to you tonight. And there's someone in this room, so there's got to be someone in this room. By the statistics, it's telling me that there's about 2 or 3 students in this room that are going to be running their own business. If you've got that idea, start it tonight. I'm talking to someone in this room. I can hear it, I can feel it, I can feel some hearts beating. Can I close off by saying, don't wait. Don't wait. I've just spent the last 15 minutes telling you about the power of this idea and how if you're passionate about solving a problem, you may be up here, maybe not 20 years time, but you can certainly be up here and say you're living on purpose, you're passionate about an idea, you're solving a problem, and gee, you can have a good night's rest at that night time, you have a good night's rest. That's what you get if you can do this. So start it tonight. Start it tonight. Start it tonight. Don't wait till tomorrow. Don't wait tomorrow. Go home, write it down in your notebook, get out your website, like whatever. Start it tonight, yeah? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Thank you, Scott and team.
Thank you very much. Can we give Jeremy another massive round of applause? Now, I know you guys have been sitting and listening for a while. Hopefully, like me, you're sitting there absolutely bubbling with ideas and inspiration. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you 60 seconds. I want you to turn to the person next to you, the person behind you, the person in front of you. And I want you to think about that question Jeremy posed to you all. 8 billion people, what are you going to do to make a difference? It could be, what are you going to do tonight? What are you going to do tomorrow? What are you going to do in 20 years' time? But how are you going to make a difference with 8 billion people? It's also a good opportunity for you to want to stretch, have a bit of a wriggle, and stretch your legs. I'm going to give you 60 seconds. We're going to put some music on. Chat to someone next to you, in front of you, behind you. 8 billion people. Your time starts now. Alrighty, grabbing our seats and let's dive back in. So thank you so much, Jeremy, for that wonderful presentation. I know I'm definitely going to be thinking about that tonight. What can I do to make a difference? And I think what I really love about Jeremy's story and Jeremy's journey as well is that it's saying getting back up when you get those no's, when you hit those setbacks, not being afraid to get back up and try again. Now, I know I'm buzzing with inspiration right now, and I'm really excited to be diving into our presentation of our West Australian Awards. Now, what we're going to be doing this evening is we're starting with our Young Leader and Young Innovator of the Year Award categories. Then we're going to be hearing from the fabulous Joe and diving into our Innovative Educator and our Young Entrepreneur. Now, our first category for this evening is the Young Leader of the Year. The West Australian Young Leader of the Year Award will go to a student that has made a significant impact in their local community through the development of their leadership abilities. A young leader is someone who displays strong leadership qualities and has a vision for the change they hope to make in their local community. They possess a high level of motivation and enthusiasm to achieve their goals, and they're willing to take risks to achieve them. Most importantly, a young leader is adaptable, resilient, and able to navigate the challenges and setbacks they face with grace and determination. They're always learning and growing, seeking out opportunities to improve themselves and working to develop their skills. Let's start by hearing from Antonia Taylor at Volunteer in Western Australia, one of the judges from this award category, of what she had to say after reviewing all of the entries.
Hello, my name is Antonia Taylor and I'm the Youth Volunteering Manager at Volunteering WA. It was such an honour to be one of the judges at the Next Generation Awards, the Young Leader of the Year Award. What an inspiration it was to read all of the nominations and hear about the incredible commitments that you have to your communities through your leadership initiatives. I'm wishing you all the very best for your futures, and thank you and well done.
Hi Young Leaders of the Year, my name is Claire and I'm one of the judges this year. I'd just like to say a big congratulations to all the nominees and award winners. You're all doing amazing things in the community, and I can't wait to follow your journeys into the future.
Task, narrowing down all of the nominees to just 3 finalists, but they did it, and our 3 finalists are outstanding in their own right. The 3 finalists for our West Australian Young Leader of the Year award are Oliver Liv, Stephanie Beaumont, and Belle Cardew. Let's meet our finalists and hear from them about the projects they're leading.
Hi, my name is Ollie Lim and I live in East Fremantle. I want to start by highlighting my journey. I have lived with lupus for the past 15 years, which affects my skin, my blood and my brain. I understand firsthand the difficulties of missing school due to health issues and the isolation that often accompanies such experiences. Despite my challenges, I've achieved so much, being on multiple different youth advisory councils, advocating for the same thing, less stigma and judgment surrounding people with visible difference. I have contributed to improving the lives of patients within Perth Children's Hospital. What I love about my work is that I can see the changes I've made around PCH and improvements of the place I spent so much time in. What makes me a compelling candidate for the winner in this category is not just my personal journey so far, but the dedication I've shown advocating for kids living with visible difference, chronic conditions and disabilities. Thank you for listening to my message and have a great day.
Hi, my name is Steph Beaumont and I live in Wellard, Kwinana. I believe that I should be considered for the Young Leader of the Year for 2023 because of the work I do within my school and the wider community. Ensuring that young voices are heard to incite positive change is a passion of mine, and I consistently seek out opportunities to represent and advocate my peers within various spaces, as well as personally developing my own leadership skills through workshops and conferences. I've had the privilege of working with organisations such as Anglicare WA as an ambassador for the past 3 years, as well as working alongside my local government as the chairperson of the Kwinana Youth Advisory Council. I'm committed to continuing to volunteer and incite initiatives and events for the youth in the future. I wish the best of luck to all nominated tonight. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Belle Cardew and I am from Kwinana. I believe that I should become the Young Leader of the Year because of my dedication to my communities. I've contributed many hours attending and organising events in Kwinana on the Kwinana Youth Advisory Council and on my local town team, the Wellard Village People. During the 7-day makeover in Wellard, I contributed over 72 hours of work over the 7 days to create a functional and beautiful place for people to enjoy and spend time in. I've achieved many meaningful changes for my community, such as creating a place for young people to spend time in and relax in during the 7-day makeover with other young people. In my school, I've also made many positive impacts through my work on the Student Council by being part of running school events and making changes to benefit student life. This is why I believe I should become the Young Leader of the Year. Thank you.
Now, the winner of the West Australian Young Leader of the Year is, drumroll please, Stephanie Beaumont. Stephanie's journey as a leader is deeply rooted in the unwavering support and inspiration she received from her parents during their immigration to Australia. Their pursuit of the best opportunities for her ignited her drive to become a leader in her own right. They instilled in her the essential qualities, shaping her to be a formidable leader. Through their guidance, Stephanie cultivated a unique set of leadership skills, including resilience, patience, inclusion, and authenticity. Yet it is her burning passion for advocacy that truly defines her leadership path. She champions the cause of youth leadership and change-making with unrelenting dedication. This passion has paved the way for an impressive list of achievements, from her roles in her school's peer support program and the Youth Making a Difference community service group to serving as an Anglicare ambassador. Stephanie's leadership journey reaches its peak with her appointment as school captain, chairperson to the Kwinana Youth Advisory Council, and her proud attainment of the Silver Duke of Ed Award. Her leadership qualities forged through her experiences shine brightly as a beacon of inspiration for future leaders. Could you please join me in congratulating Stephanie as well as Oliver and Belle for all of their amazing achievements. to our Young Innovator of the Year. This award is powered by Federation University. The West Australian Young Innovator of the Year award will go to a student who has demonstrated the abilities to push the boundaries as they've developed out-of-the-box solutions to a challenge presented to them. A young innovator is someone who is always thinking big and trying to find new ways of doing things. Innovators love to challenge the status quo and think outside of the box as they work to create exciting and impactful solutions to the problems presented to them. The Young Innovator of the Year award is going to go to a young person that loves to dream up new ideas before then finding ways to make them happen. Let's hear from the judges of our Young Innovator of the Year award category on what they had to say after finishing the judging process.
I'm Megan Enders from the Fogarty Foundation. We're an education philanthropy that loves to support great initiatives for young people. I've had so much fun judging these awards. I've been blown away by the talent that I've seen in the young people we've considered as part of the Next Gen process. Congratulations to everyone who is nominated. Good luck to our finalists, and stay committed and passionate about what matters most to you.
Hi, I'm Casey from Telstra Purple, and can I just say we had such a hard time judging these submissions. They were all amazing and demonstrated the passion and enthusiasm of these young innovators. So congratulations to all of the finalists for making it this far. Making any meaningful change involves going up against many obstacles, and having that passion at the core of who you are and what you aspire to be will help you to continue to overcome those obstacles and be the true change makers in our world. Congratulations, everyone.
This was one of our most popular award categories this year, which made judging incredibly difficult. But after the judging process was completed, we've been incredibly excited to announce 3 outstanding finalists for the West Australian Young Innovator of the Year category. These include Lila Dorfman with her Innovation Interact, Mingming Zen with her Innovation Oz app, and Felix Abbott with his innovation around remote sheep monitoring. Let's hear from our 3 finalists on why they've been nominated and what projects they're working on.
Hi, my name is Felix Abbott and I live in Kwinana. Over the span of 3 months, with the aid of teaching staff at Peter Conley Anglican Community School, I undertook a cursory review of published papers that look at soil analysis and machine learning. As a result, I constructed a machine learning model plan. This plan outlines the various input data that may be collected to better predict health problems associated with animals, pastures, and predator patterns in order to better support remote farming and the agriculture industry to maximize outputs. I feel with the support of teaching staff, all students have the capacity to explore real-world problems and to be part of the solution. I hope young people today continue to be curious about the world and take on challenges where they may be able to offer a new perspective to a problem. I wish the best of luck to all candidates tonight. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Mingming, and I believe I should be the next Young Innovator of the Year because even though I encountered many challenges in my project, I had to persevere and find new ways to overcome these challenges, many of which involved asking for help from my peers who are more knowledgeable in that area. For example, when I was having problems with my code, I would go to my maths and coding teacher who would help me after I tried finding a solution online. Before I started this project, I didn't have any prior knowledge of coding, but after I started it, I've expanded my knowledge of coding, and I am now much more confident. Working on this project has been a great learning opportunity for me to develop my skills in communication, leadership, and creative thinking to solve the many problems that came with this idea. Thank you. I hope I will be chosen as the next Young Innovator for 2023.
Hi, my name is Lilia Dorfman. I'm from Perth, and I feel very honoured to have reached this final stage. I believe that I should be the winner of my category because Interact is an innovation that can change lives. There are so many people who exist in the silences between other people's breaths, who are unable to tell their own story. There are so many people the same age as me, people the same age as you, people younger and people older, who can only listen to other people's voices, who are caged simply by a lack of education. The education app Interact gives everyone with the ability to not only tell their own stories, but to rewrite them full of opportunities and possibilities. Interact is not about winning, it is not about profit, and it is certainly not about fame. It is about creating a better and more equal world for friends, for family, and for strangers for generations to come. Thank you.
Let's give a big round of applause to our finalists.
My name is
Now, the winner of the West Australian Young Innovator of the Year is, drumroll please, Felix Abbott. For the Felix's innovative solution revolves around revolutionising remote sheep monitoring. With a vision for more effective and practical methods, he developed a cutting-edge, semi-supervised machine learning project plan. This project assimilates diverse data inputs, including cloud maps, soil quality, and infrared sheep emissions, to predict future outcomes with remarkable accuracy and precision. Felix's ingenuity lies in his clever manipulation of modern technologies like LiDAR, thermography, and soil maps. These elements were artfully woven together into a machine learning project plan featuring ReLU and softmax activation functions. Bayesian optimization, random forest, and cross-entropy loss. Wow, that is a mouthful. He meticulously fine-tuned neural network considerations, including hyperparameters to optimize performance. Could you please join me in congratulating Felix, as well as Lila and Ming for the brilliant work that they are leading? Now, before we dive into our final two awards of the evening, and to get us thinking big about the importance of learning and unlearning, I'm incredibly excited to be introducing Dr. Jo Hawkins to the stage to talk about unlearning. What got you here won't get you there. Jo is a deep tech enthusiast with a passion for translating innovative ideas into real-world solutions. She works at the University of Western Australia to develop programs, prototypes, spaces, and partnerships to support innovation and entrepreneurship. She has over 15 years of experience in strategy, management, and commercialization, and she was recognised as one of West Australia's 40 under 40 business leaders in 2021. Her keynote for this evening will argue that for today's young people, the ability to unlearn will be just as important as the ability to learn. Unlearning is to think and behave differently, where there are already beliefs, behaviours, or assumptions in place that sometimes get in the way. Jo's going to be sharing some real-life stories of how the process of learning, unlearning, and relearning led to success. And she's going to be discussing how skills related to innovation and entrepreneurship can help us change entrenched ways of thinking and develop new ways of working together. Could you please join me in welcoming Jo to the stage?
And all in 20 minutes. I'll do my best. And also, yeah, wow, there's a lot of talent here tonight. It's extremely exciting for me as somebody who works in the university and works with a lot of young inventors and that new generation. Now, Sophie, you're going to drive today. Thank you very much. Very good. And I'll have my phone up here. So yeah, I'm learning. Well, hang on, I'll start with introducing myself a little bit better, but Scott did such a great job. So I have the privilege of working at UWA. It's a fantastic kind of environment to work in. And essentially I see my role as an enabler of great talent, like you guys. And a few years ago, it was only a few years ago, strangely, that I realised, I was like, oh, I guess I've got one of those jobs of the future that everybody talks about, right? And the thing about a job of the future, which I didn't realise, and I can't believe it took me so long to realise this, is jobs of the future, they kind of change while you're in them. It's not like you're like a robot psychologist or you're a drone operator. It's like you've got a job and your job will change. So I've been at UWA for probably 7 years and I've probably had 5 different jobs within that job. And it's just, yeah. And I guess what I think about, and I'm like Jeremy, and I love that idea. Jeremy's right. You're only going to remember one thing that I tell you. And so I'm hoping that will be that it's just as important for you to unlearn as it is to learn. So that's my number one. I'll come back to that. Because there is only one thing harder than starting something new, and that is stopping something old. It's really, really hard. It's a hard and painful process. And I'm going to give you some lessons that I've learned and also some tips on how you do it. We'll go on to this slide. This is UWA. This is my office. Oh yeah, great. And I'm there. That's where I hang out. Usually if I'm not stalking the labs, kind of trying to track down an academic. But my job is, it's tricky. We're problem solvers, and you will all be problem solvers as well. And sometimes you're going to hit a brick wall, if that's your job. And when I do hit a bit of a brick wall, I sometimes go for a walk. We're quite close to the Swan River, and I see these beautiful. There we go, our beautiful swans. So I'm very, very inspired by our Indigenous Australian culture. Aboriginal culture is a history of continual change and reinvention, and they call these beautiful black swans Mali, and they know everything about these swans. They know where they eat, they know the habitats, they know when they have their little babies, they know everything, and it's an extremely important animal, and a very beautiful one. Unless you get too close, then you might have a piece of bread. Be careful with swans, but anyway, but they're beautiful. And the fascinating thing about these black swans is that so I'll tell you, when the first Europeans visited, did anyone know when the first Europeans visited WA? It might not be. It was the Dutch. It was the Dutch indeed. It was in 1697. A group of Dutch explorers, sailors, travellers, Willem de Vlaming, led by him, became the first Europeans to ever see a black swan. And when they saw these black swans, they didn't just think it was interesting. They thought it was completely astonishing. They were astounded. They were gobsmacked by that black swan. And the reason was that if you lived in 17th century Europe, you would have thought that all swans were white. And it's a really interesting analogy. And in fact, so much so was that the truth that there was a saying, a very popular saying in the streets of London, the streets of, Italy, and it said it was a rare bird in the lands, just like a black swan. That's what you'd say. And you'd say it if somebody said something that was completely impossible. You're like, oh, come on, it's like a rare bird in the land. That's like a black swan, isn't it? That's impossible because everybody knows that all swans are white. And when I see those swans, it does remind me that when we are confronted, when something that we know is true is overturned, it's very confronting. But it's also a great opportunity, I think, to grow. And so unlearning, this brings me to unlearning, which is learning to think, behave, or perceive differently when there are already beliefs and behaviours or assumptions in place and they're getting in your way. It's when you get in your own way. And sometimes it's interesting to think about this for you guys because learning is obviously something you value, right? It's hard-won knowledge. You're working hard, you've got exams. What are you thinking? You're telling me I need to unlearn this as well? And education is a key value of mine, actually. That's driven most of my career, I think. Really, the power of education to enable people, to allow people to achieve their dreams is amazing. But yes, you must learn to unlearn as well, even though this does sound counterintuitive. And maybe think of it like a software update. Your devices need updating, and so does your mind. So this brings me to an example. Take a small baby, right? When you see a baby first has to learn how to crawl before it can learn how to walk. Now, crawling and walking are very, very different. And you must unlearn crawling before you can learn to walk. And let me tell you, babies are very, very good at crawling. A lot of my son was very good at crawling. In fact, he had no interest in walking for a very long time because he was so good at crawling. He mastered the art, and he didn't want to be uncomfortable, and he didn't want to learn how to walk because that was he'd already mastered something else and he had to unlearn. So I think that's quite a good example. So unlearning is hard. It's really hard. And often it involves letting go of mindsets or habits or assumptions that have actually served you well for a long time. And that's why I said at the start, what got you here might not necessarily get you there. So this leads me to my next slide, where I guess I thought I'd kind of bring it back to experience you might be quite familiar with, which is the school experience, right? So I was pretty good at school. I worked really hard, but it was an environment where I naturally felt like I could succeed. I kind of knew the rules, I knew how to, I knew what was expected, and I could deliver on that. It was a comfortable environment. When I got into a professional environment, I found that a lot of the things that had done, that have led to success in the school environment were actually massively getting in my way now that I was actually out in the world trying to get things done, right? So there is no one correct answer in your future jobs. There are many answers. You're going to make mistakes. In fact, if I'm not making mistakes in my job, people are looking around saying, kind of thinking, well, hang on, like, are you not trying hard enough? Are you not doing new things? Because if you're doing new things, you're going to make mistakes. And especially, I mean, working at a university, we are discovering new things. That's really important. You've got to challenge expectations. Don't ask for permission when you, and actually, well, this is, in our office, we sometimes ask for forgiveness rather than permission. That's a little adult trick. Shouldn't have let you in on that one. But it works when the thing that you've done, like, if you think it's going to work and you hedge your bets, that can sometimes pay off. Could blow up in your face though, so it's your choice. But the last one actually is really important, I think, being obedient. I was a very good girl at school. When you're an innovator, unfortunately, you are going to annoy a lot of people. You are going to have to question authority, and you're going to have to stand up for yourself, and sometimes you're going to have to lean into a bit of conflict. And I'll get onto that a little bit later, but I think that's one of the hardest lessons that I had to learn coming from school into a professional environment, that sometimes I really did have to stand up for, what I wanted and make a really strong argument. But yeah, quite different. Okay, so on to the next slide. All right, so this is when I'm going to just share a couple of experiences and lessons learned based on my own experiences, but where I've had to unlearn things in my life. So, and of course, just let's make, one of the things about unlearning is that thinking is invisible, and sometimes that's why it's hard. Learning is kind of invisible in a way. It's amorphous. It's hard to explain what it is. And some people naturally will be good learners. Some people will, have quite a skill for critical thinking. So for me, working at the uni, it's our job to make thinking visible, to make these kind of processes visible. Because if you don't think about it and reflect about it, sometimes you just come into these parts of your life and you feel stuck and you don't know why you're stuck. And it's usually because of one of these kind of invisible things, right? It's like a mindset or a belief about yourself or somebody else. Systems and processes, often they're kind of invisible. They're not said, it's just kind of the way we do things. Values and norms, often we don't talk about or articulate that. They're just kind of what we all know is true. Technology and tools is kind of the easiest. We can see those. It's kind of so for me, I've had to unlearn elements of success, failure, communication, and conflict. And starting off with success, or really starting something. And Jeremy before talked about ideas and the power of ideas, and I truly believe in that. And that was a fantastic presentation. And he's so right, your passion is everything. It will get you everywhere. However, I also want to tell you something else, the flip side of that. Ideas are cheap also. Because I can tell you what, if I spent $100 on pizza and I gave you an hour and a challenge, I would have probably 300 fantastic ideas, okay? And no one's going to do anything about it, and they're never going to go anywhere. So ideas are cheap, just remember that. You've got to act on your idea, and I think that's what Jeremy was trying to get to. Failure, I alluded to that before. Failure is really important. Embrace it. It's absolutely vital and in my role as well, that idea about failing fast and failing often. The faster we fail, the more resources we can direct to a better kind of project. This is another thing, I think it might resonate with a lot of you who are inventing products, and it's a quote from the chap who invented LinkedIn, and he said, if you're not embarrassed by the first version of your product, then you've probably launched that product too late. And that resonated with me as somebody who was a good girl, good at school, and used to present really nice pieces of work, because when I got into a professional setting, I had to do things a lot faster and a lot rougher, and that made me much more successful, let me say, which feels counterintuitive if you're at school and you're used to taking things up to a certain level, but in a professional sphere, you need to learn what the minimum is that will get you forward and do that. And that will help you not burn out and get further. And again, like put it out in the world, see what happens. It's very important. The final one is unlearning conflict, right? I used to be I'm not a person, I don't like it. I don't like conflict. And I found it was holding me back. Not everybody dislikes conflict. Some people feed off it. You will encounter these people in your careers and lives. You may be one of these people. It's okay. It's not a value judgment. I think there's, on one hand, people love conflict, love to sit in it, love to sit in discomfort. On the other hand, some people hate conflict, just want everyone to be happy, right? There's the middle. I would try and get in the middle. I think that's the most helpful place to be. And I've had to work to come into the middle from my end. Maybe others have to work to come into the middle from another end. But again, let me tell you, you are all creative minds. I can see the passion in all of these presentations. You're a bunch of extremely impressive young people, and you're going to shake up normal processes. You're going to annoy people. I won't swear, but you will you will annoy people a lot. Okay, so you're going to have to be prepared to challenge the status quo and be comfortable in conflict. And when I say conflict, I don't mean I mean respectful, I guess, respectful dialogue. The thing about when you're negotiating and when you're kind of in a disagreement with somebody is that actually you can sometimes get to where you want to go faster because everyone's got their cards on the table, the truth is on the table, and you can get to where you want to go because you can see the edges of where they're willing to negotiate. That's a very powerful thing. So, so that's a great thing I think you can probably have a think about. Communication, Nellie skipped it. The biggest thing about communication is that actually what you see in the movie, you know when you see in the movies and you see somebody jump up on stage and they give the 5-minute pitch and everyone's like, oh my God, that's the greatest idea. You just convinced me I'm going to give you this funding. Or maybe there's another influence, you know, somebody jumps on another table and implores the person to make a different decision and all of a sudden it's like, oh, I'm absolutely convinced by those words that went in the perfect order and the perfect way that you said those words. Doesn't happen like that. So communication moves information, but it's influence that will kind of, I guess, move your ideas into action. You've got to be influential. It's not enough to just communicate information. Okay, but we put a lot of focus on pitching when really influence is something very different. And you all learn, as you know, you're all young leaders, you will all learn what influence means for you. And a lot of actually communication for me is actually listening and saying nothing and really listening, because guess what? No one listens. We're all, and I feel I'm pretty bad at it myself. I'm always working on my listening practice, but it's extremely powerful if you really listen and you're not just waiting for your turn to speak. And so I guess I'm going to just conclude with a little bit of, let's make this real, okay? I've talked about making thinking visible. Let's give you some practical tips. So we've got learn, you've got to learn, then sometimes you need to unlearn, and then you need to relearn something new in order to go forward. Just remember, what got you here, what brought you success here today in this room might not necessarily bring you success over the next 5 years, 10 years. You need to have a think about what works for you and what doesn't. And then here's a few tips, okay? Firstly, don't be afraid of failure, because you always get it, because it's tough. It is really tough. I've unlearned a lot of extremely hard lessons, and to be honest, sometimes you get taught those lessons over and over and over again until it finally sinks in and you think, I have to do something differently. I'm in my own way and I don't know what's happening, but I'm getting in my own way. 2, just take tiny steps. Just take tiny steps. You don't, something small is absolutely fine. 3, again, making thinking visible. So I don't know if any of you journal or have a mentor, but if you talk about these experiences, that's the great thing about journaling, right? It puts the thoughts out of here and puts them on paper, and then you can kind of start to wrangle them and question them and think about them. Of course, learn by doing, put it in action, and I think finding a mentor is a really great thing, because a lot of these, there's so much of life, I think, that is, I guess, not in a textbook, right? Experiences, and you're together. And it's great that you're all here together, and you can have that peer-to-peer learning as well, because you're all going to be encountering the same challenges as you progress into the workforce and as you progress to bring your ideas into reality. So I'm going to leave you with a quote. It's one of my favourite quotes, and it's quite a mouthful, I'm going to have to say. And so I'm going to have to read it. And it's this: the more efficient you are at doing the wrong thing, the wronger you become, right? And it feels good. Sometimes you can be really good at doing the wrong thing, but you're only going to get wronger. So it's much better to do the right thing wronger than the wrong thing righter. That's the key. That's the key. And it feels uncomfortable. It doesn't feel good. It feels like a baby that's really good at crawling and it's just starting to walk. Okay? It's not going to feel good. It's okay. You've got to sit in that discomfort. So if you do the right thing wrong, you will gradually correct it, and it is slow, but it will happen, I promise you, and you will get better. And I'll leave you with that.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much, Joe. I know I took a photo of that quote. I'm going to be printing it out, putting it on my wall. I'm putting it in my email signatures. I'm going to be putting it everywhere. Thank you so much, Joe Hawkins, for that wonderful presentation. Give Joe another massive round of applause. Now, we are on to the final part of the evening. And again, I know you guys have been sitting and listening really well. So I'm going to get you guys to do a little activity with me. Can I just get everyone standing up where they are? Quickly standing up. Have a bit of a wriggle. Now, I want everyone putting their hands in the air for me. Hands in the air. Amazing. Now, we're going to stretch to the side. Reach to the side. Just lean. Yep. And to the other side. Yep. And we're leaning back. And we're leaning forward, putting our hands out in front of us. Yep. Have a bit of wriggle. Can I get us to put our thumbs up in the air? Thumbs up. And say, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Amazing. Have a wriggle. Sit back down. Fantastic. So thank you so much for that presentation, Joe. I know I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I know it's really challenged me to think differently about relearning and unlearning, and I think that's so true. Like, we're living in an ever-changing world. It's like what's working for us right now is going to be totally different in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. So I think it's really important for us to become great learners, have a real love of learning, and have that ability to reskill, upskill, and everything like that. Now, as we cruise towards the end of our evening this evening, we only have 2 award categories to go, and I can't believe we're nearly there already. Now, our second last award category of the evening is our Innovative Educator of the Year. Now, this is an award that's really close to my heart, because I think so often we celebrate the amazing achievements of our young people, but sometimes the educators that put in the long hours, put in the hard work, and really go above and beyond to support their young people don't often get an honourable mention. So we wanted to give them an opportunity to acknowledge an Innovative Educator of the Year. Now, the Innovative Educator of the Year award will go to an educator who has gone above and beyond in their pursuit to educate and empower the next generation of young innovators, young entrepreneurs, and young leaders. An innovative educator is someone who is passionate about teaching and learning and is committed to finding new and creative ways to engage their students and improve their learning outcomes. They're constantly looking for ways to improve their teaching practices and are willing to take risks to try new approaches. Let's see what Kate Cohen, one of the judging panel for the WA category, the Innovative Educator of the Year award, has to say after finishing the judging.
Hi, it's Kate from She Codes here. I was really lucky to be part of the judging panel for the Innovative Educator of the Year Awards at the Next Gen Awards for Western Australia. So for me, it was a really great experience to look through and hear a little bit more about what our amazing educators are doing here in Western Australia to improve the entrepreneurship, technology and innovation education for our young people. You're all amazing. All of the applicants, finalists and our winner are doing incredible work, and I'm excited to see what's next for the future of education. Well done.
But we narrow these down to 3 entries. These top 3 finalists include Michelle Fitzpatrick from St Mary's Anglican Girls' School, Kim Flintoff from Peter Carnley Anglican Community School, and Michael Oppenshaw from Ursula Fane Catholic College. Let's meet our finalists and hear about the work they're leading in their classrooms.
Hello, I'm Michael Openshaw, the Vet Workplace Learning and Careers Coordinator at Ursula Fane Catholic College. I really enjoy working with young people as they explore their unique strengths and interests and discover their future opportunities. I believe that learning is lifelong and holistic and should be purposefully designed to connect to a young person's future goals. In my role, I work with 120 Year 11 and 12 students who participate in the Aspire program. This off-campus learning program aligns students' learning experiences to their career interests and aspirations. As part of this program, all students were supported to develop their own personalised learning plans to reflect on their learning and set goals across all areas of their development, including aspirations, extracurricular, academic, wellbeing and skills. Also this year I worked collaboratively with the Deputy of Middle School and 20 other staff to implement a career education program for Year 9 students that involved guest speakers, early career discovery activities, employability skills challenges, and visits to different education and training providers based on student choices. This was a first for Frame. Young people are our future, and I'm committed to developing innovative approaches that empower them to develop agency, grow their skills and capabilities, and positively impact their communities.
Good evening. I'm Michelle Fitzpatrick from St Mary's Anglican Girls' School in Perth, Western Australia, and I'm honoured to be considered for the BOP Innovative Educator of the Year award. Now in its 6th year, iCubed is a compulsory entrepreneurial STEM-based program where our Year 10 students work in teams to help solve any of the 17 UN Sustainable Development Goals by creating a unique digital solution. Each team is supported by 2 mentors and allocated 3 hours per cycle plus termly project days as they work towards the end of year live pitch showcase where they pitch to a panel of industry judges. iCubed enables our students to become confident female leaders and changemakers of tomorrow. The program remains sustainable with informal industry volunteers through to formal contractual partnerships. A simple coding program has turned into what is likely WA's, if not Australia's, largest industry school entrepreneurial and innovation partnership. Thank you for listening and have a lovely evening.
G'day, I'm Kim Flintoff. I found myself nominated as one of the finalists in the Next Gen Awards for Innovative Teaching. I'm humbled, I'm surprised, but I guess to some extent, I mean, looking at the list of young candidates, I see that there's 2 of my students in there, and I think perhaps that might be one of the reasons why I found myself in this position, is that the students seem to appreciate the opportunities that I've brought to them over the last 2.5 years at Peter Carnley Anglican Community School, and I think the work that I've been doing in innovation and education for the last decade or so probably establishes me with a little bit of recognition around the world. Anyway, good luck to all the other candidates, good luck to all the other finalists, and thanks very much for BOP Industries and everyone else involved with the awards. Thank you.
Give our finalists all a massive round of applause. Now, the winner of the West Australian Innovative Educator of the Year award goes to, drumroll please, Michael Openshaw from Ursula Frame Catholic College. Michael's innovative practices in the classroom and the school have had the power to transform the educational experience for his students. This year, Michael has spearheaded the introduction of personalised learning plans for Year 11 and 12 students, encompassing a holistic reflection on their development. These plans cover various facets of their growth, including aspirations, extracurricular activities, academic progress, well-being, and skill development. In addition to personalised learning, Michael's implemented a comprehensive 2-day career education program specifically designed for Year 9 students. This program offers a rich tapestry of learning experiences, featuring guest speakers, early career discovery activities, employability skill challenges, and visits to education and training providers, all tailored to the students' preferences. Could you please join me in congratulating Michael and also our finalists, Kim and Michelle. Alrighty team, it's time for our final award category of this evening. You guys ready? Woo! Yeah, are you ready? Woo! Yeah. Fabulous. Now, the Young Entrepreneur of the Year award is going to go to a student who has developed and demonstrated their entrepreneurial skills in order to bring a business idea to life in a scalable way. A young entrepreneur is someone with the ability to identify new opportunities for business. They're often driven by a desire to solve problems or meet an unmet need in the market. They must be able to adapt to changing circumstances, overcome obstacles, and persevere in the face of adversity. A great young entrepreneur must also be able to pitch their ideas, negotiate with suppliers and customers, and build a team of employees or collaborators to support their venture. Let's see what some of our judges of the Young Entrepreneur of the Year award category have to say.
Hi everyone, my name's Courtney and I was a judge for the Young Entrepreneur of the Year award. I absolutely loved reading all of your submissions and it was a really, really difficult judging process. We deliberated for quite a while and it was really hard to pick the finalists and the winner, but congratulations to everyone and best of luck.
I want to start by saying you are the future. Each one of you here today has the potential to shape the world in ways I can only imagine. It's an incredible responsibility, but also an extraordinary opportunity. You are growing up in a time of rapid change. The world is evolving and is doing so faster than ever before. New technologies, new ideas, and new challenges are emerging all the time. But with these changes come incredible opportunities. You have access to knowledge and resources that were unimaginable just a few decades ago. You have the power to connect with people from all around the world, to learn about different cultures, to understand complex issues in ways that previous generations could only dream of. But it's not just about the tools and technologies that you have at your disposal. It's about the creativity, your passion, your ability to think differently. It's about your capacity to solve the problems that we face as a society and to create a better, more equitable and more sustainable world for all. I encourage you to embrace your curiosity and never stop asking questions. Don't be afraid to challenge the status quo and think outside the box. And remember, failure is not the end. It is just a stepping stone on the path to success. So as you sit here today, I want you to envisage a future you want to create. Think about the problems that you want to solve and the impact you want to have on the world, and then go out there and make it happen. The future is yours, and it is filled with endless possibilities. I have no doubt that each one of you is capable of achieving incredible things. So dream big, work hard, and never stop believing in yourselves. Thank you, and I can't wait to see the amazing things that you will accomplish.
Hi legends, it's Olivia Chapman. I'm from Space Cubed, and I work on the Innovative Society Initiative, which is supported by Lottery West. And it's through this that we were able to fund Next Gen. So it's really exciting to see it culminate in this wonderful showcase tonight. I was also lucky enough to be a judge, and I can tell you it was extremely hard to do that job because all of the finalists were absolutely fabulous, really creative, really strong, really well thought through, had really good ideas for impact in the community. So I was really, really, really impressed. So while this is the showcase and a winner event, I think you should all pat yourself on the back because in my mind and in my you are all winners for making an application and having such great ideas. I can also tell you from experience, you'll continue to make come up with great ideas and come up with great solutions and products, and that is the beauty of entrepreneurship because you don't really stop. So well done. Keep up the good work. Really can't wait to see how you all develop and progress. And good luck tonight. Have fun.
This was, again, a very popular category with some really fantastic applications coming through, but we've narrowed it down to 3 finalists. These finalists include Lucas Lane with his business Glossy Boys, Meena Srinivasan with her business Mini Steps, and Archie Harrigan with his business Scam Busters. Let's meet our finalists and hear about their businesses.
Hello everyone, my name is Archie. I'm a student at Idea Academy and I'm from Perth, Western Australia. It is such an honour to be here. My passion is in IT, specifically coding. Did you know that since February of this year, Australians have lost up to $50 million through scams? As a young entrepreneur, I wanted to find a way to help because I know how much scamming impacts individuals, families, and businesses. That's why I created Scam Busters. What is Scam Busters? It's an app that checks incoming calls and texts against a database. If a number has been reported a certain number of times, the app flags it and notifies the user, offering customizable notifications. As a young entrepreneur, I hope that my app will significantly reduce the financial and emotional impacts that scamming has on people. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Meena and I'm 16 and live in Perth, Western Australia. I started my business Mini Steps back in 2022 and I believe I should win the Young Entrepreneur of the Year award as my business focuses on fostering community and the very important topic of sustainability for now and in the future. I do this by promoting the message on my social media accounts, my website and my very recently started podcast. I'm all about circular economies and bridging the gap between producers and consumers. I also love storytelling about all the people along the supply chain, which is what I do on my podcast, and hopefully inspire others to see exactly what goes on behind their product and inspire them to take more sustainable actions when buying things. I also promote local businesses at farmers markets all around Perth and connect with people to hopefully inspire them to join the cause. This is why I believe I should win the Young Entrepreneur of the Year award. Thank you.
I believe I should be named the Entrepreneur of the Year because my company, Glossy Boys, have created a massive movement and entirely changed the way people express themselves. Hi, my name is Lucas, I'm 14 years old and I'm from Perth, Western Australia. Glossy Boys has made a revolutionary way to paint your nails and have made a whole bunch of guys just feel comfortable expressing themselves and being who they are. I've entirely bootstrapped the company until now with my record-breaking youngest Australian to ever secure a Shark Tank deal. And guess what? I've done it entirely off of the kitchen bench. Not only have I created a brand that has sold over $100,000 worth of nail polish, Glossy Boys has created a massive movement of positive, inclusive change. I've created a community called the Glossy Brigade. It's filled with over 25,000 people expressing who they are. So many rad people are now feeling seen. I worked so hard and I just want to thank you for your consideration. For your consideration.
Let's give a big round of applause to all of us. Now, the winner of the West Australian Young Entrepreneur of the Year, as judged by our judging panel, is, drumroll please, Meena Srinivasan with her business, Mini Steps. Let's give Meena a big round of Meena's journey with Mini Steps began in late 2022, driven by her deep love for the environment and breathtaking flora and fauna of southwestern Australia. She found inspiration in sustainability lessons learned during her primary school days, where concepts like reusing, reducing, and recycling resonated deeply. It dawned on her, why aren't we all embracing these practices in our daily lives? Amidst our hectic routines, the wealth of information and its application can feel overwhelming. That's where Mini Steps comes into play. Meena's mission centers around transforming consumer behavior by championing the idea of buying local. I've just lost my train of thought, sorry. Buying local. She scours the region for unique local products and shares their stories with the people of Western Australia, primarily at the vibrant markets of Perth. Through a multifaceted approach encompassing social media, a dedicated website, and forthcoming projects like podcasts and blogs, Meena aims to raise awareness and inspire a community of environmentally conscious consumers. With Mini Steps, she hopes to make a big difference, one small choice at a time. Could you please join me in congratulating Meena, as well as Lucas and Archie. Well, that brings us to the end of our inaugural Next Gen WA Showcase event of 2023. Show of hands, who is already planning their Macca's order for the way home? Yeah, I know I've got the frozen Coke, it's already ready to go. Now, I know I'm absolutely bubbling with inspiration, and I feel like our world is in some very good hands after seeing the caliber of top young talent we have across the state today. Now, before we head off tonight, could you please join me in thanking every single one of our finalists and all of the amazing young innovators and innovative educators that nominated for the Next Gen Awards this year. Could you also join me in thanking all of the organisations that help make our Next Gen Awards possible? To the Fogarty Foundation, Bloom, Space Cube, Lottery Quest, Federation University, and Bond University Transformer, thank you for your support. I'd highly recommend each of you reach out to these organisations to find out more about how they're empowering young people in their teams. Could you join me in thanking all of these organisations? And finally, a massive thank you to the Bop Industries team who worked tirelessly to bring the Next Gen Awards to life this year. A particular mention to the phenomenal Sophie Diem, who is sitting at the back. I know many of you will be receiving emails from her throughout the year. I just wanted to say a massive thank you to Sophie and the team for helping create this opportunity and making all of this possible. Thank you so much. Now, you're more than welcome to hang around and do a little bit of networking if you like. Also, to Mina, Michael, Stephanie, Felix, Michelle, and Sidhij, if you could make your way up onto the stage after we finish up tonight, we'd love to get some photos of you guys with your trophies and screens. But to all of you, thank you so much for coming tonight. What is a very busy term. I hope you, like me, are leaving feeling inspired and empowered and ready to make a change in our communities. Have a safe travel home and enjoy the rest of term 4. We'll see you all again next year. Thank you very much.
We'll be right back.